Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Enter, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a Nut closer look post to go over, which if you've been living under a rock, Nut is going to be the newest god coming to Smite. She is going to be a hunter, and I think patch notes for her will be on Wednesday, I think is when they usually do them. And of course, Nut, a very highly requested god. Leave all of your No Nut February comments down below, of course, and let's just jump in. So, who is Nut? The Egyptian goddess of the sky, of course. Oh my mother Nut, stretch yourself over me. Oh god, maybe it is maybe it is not February. That I may be placed among the imperishable stars which are in you, and that I may not die. I am Nut, and I have come so that I may unfold and protect you from all things evil. From some kind of text written in 1250 BCE, very long time ago. The sky is a universal wonder across many mythos, with its seemingly boundless presence surrounding the entirety of the earth in a gentle blue hue. Within Egyptian legend, this protective barrier filled with the shimmering of starlight is Nut, the mother to all souls and their guide to the peaceful afterlife. The goddess of the sky stretches across the earth from end to end and separating the world of man from the dark depths of the cosmos in which chaos reigns. Her duty is to mankind to protect the souls of the recently departed and to be the basin within which the sun may travel, allowing humanity to experience day and night. She is the coverer of the sky, the holder of 1,000 souls, and the bearer of the gods. Despite the arduous tasks Nut performs, she does them with grace and unconditional love for her creations, for she is all too familiar with the pain of heartbreak and loss. Rip Geb, dude, rip Geb. When the universe was still young, Nut was forcefully separated from her husband, Geb, for all of eternity by Ra. She had put her own inner turmoil aside for the sake of others, dutifully observing humanity from afar, until now. Throughout Smite's tenured history, there has always been an omniscient watcher, instructing the mortals who dare to play God about the sagas and tales of mythologies they represent. This figure has long been known to the community as the Law Lady, but now in Smite's 11th year, she is revealed to be Nut, as she has been all along. So yeah, they're essentially retconning that the Law Lady that we've all experienced for many years is actually Nut, and she's been here the whole time. Soon, Nut will finally be amongst the gods she has only ever known about through fables passed from generation to generation. So the vision for Nut. In many traditional depictions, Nut is pictured as a blue-skinned woman who is speckled with stars. She is also accompanied by a water pot, which is most often used as a symbolic representation of the womb or motherhood. When we first pictured Nut in Smite, these key features aligned near perfectly with our depictions of the Law Lady, a celestial, graceful, and motherly goddess whose voice and presence is simply iconic amongst the community. We couldn't picture a better fit, and so we're excited and got to work crafting the shining star of Smite's 11th year. So does this mean the Law Lady will be voicing the Nut voice pack? Dude, that would be pretty cool if that's true. So, the core themes: an omniscient protector. As the sky itself, Nut sees all that happens in the world below, watching her children carefully to ensure they do not fall into the depths of chaos. She will protect order at any cost. Visuals: celestial, starry goddess. Aligning closely to our depictions of the Law Lady, we pushed what was visually possible within Smite, giving Nut flowing galaxies for hair and tying in all kinds of gorgeous spacey visuals. Personality: motherly tough love. Nut loves all of her creations, and though she does not want to fight, she will if it means protecting those important to her. Perspective: the Law Lady. An iconic Smite figure brought to life, Nut is finally able to join her fellow gods and goddesses on the battleground, using her immense knowledge of their strengths to her advantage. Moving on to the artistic process, as soon as we confirmed that Nut would be one and the same with the Law Lady, we got to work brainstorming on how to translate this mystical and mysterious icon into 3D space. There have been many depictions of the Law Lady throughout the years, but at her core, she has always been a beautiful celestial woman with stars dotting her skin and flowing space-like hair. Yeah, so this is the Law Lady voice pack icon, I believe. We wanted to make sure she felt unique amongst hunters, especially others of similar geographical origins like Neith and Ishtar. The first direction we pushed that idea was her body type, making her very tall and upright compared to her peers. Fitting for the god of the sky, I think. Especially accentuated by the cow horns that crown her, another sly reference to her lore. Speaking of lore, Nut also walks along a sparkling plane slightly above the ground, signifying the permanence of her forced separation from her husband Geb despite her wishes. They can be so close, yet so far. That's kind of cool, a nice little nod to it, like she can never actually truly touch the earth because they're fully separated. Also, it sounds like they're going to be using that tech that's similar to the one that they used with Sylvanus' Bob Ross, I believe, where like the ground is essentially all painted, and as she walks over it, it reveals what's painted on the ground, and that'll be like a starry galaxy texture. So that sounds really cool, like visually. For her attire, we opted for light flowing cloth adorned with gold to exemplify her regal nature, being the mother of all. Animating cloth can be very tricky. Well, maybe not in Smite 2, right? We've seen how good it looks there and how it's like a semi automated process, but yeah, in Smite 1, a little bit tough, as it requires a lot of technical know-how to make the stiff planes turn into soft rippling fabric. With some brand new tech, we were able to craft a system that uses information from the player's directional inputs to better blend the cloth between animations and really sell that layer of immersion. Oh, that's kind of cool. So they're essentially reading what your inputs are going to be and then making the cloth move in a certain direction based on what your inputs are. So here's a few initial designs they had for her, looking really good. Ooh, the hair in C though. That's good shit. Yeah, I think C is definitely my favorite there. I do like the hair in A as well, though. The team also spent a lot of time debating if it was even possible to achieve the flowy galaxy-like hair portrayed in the beautiful 2D art that the Law Lady had been featured in throughout the years. With a combination of some clever techniques, we were able to use layers of semi-transparent meshes with mesmerizing moving textures, along with some small animation tweaks to get the desired effect, which looks incredible in-game. So here's a more, like, finalized 2D design for her. She's got a bunch of, like, artifacts from her lore. Looking really good. Finally, Nut needed a weapon. As a hunter, she would need to throw some type of projectile, so we tried all different kinds of weapons, from spears to wands, but none of these felt quite right. Especially with her being a physical character. Yeah, if she was some kind of magical ADC, then like a wand or firing like beams of energy from her hands or something definitely would have worked. But yeah, being a physical character, you kind of want something a little bit more physical, I guess. Finally, it clicked. We could use the water pot, the main iconography associated with Nut. After a bit of iteration, we decided that Nut would use the pot as a portal to the heavens, plucking her starry projectiles out of it one by one to fire at her foes. Oh, that kind of sounds a bit like Thoth basic attacks, where he like pulls glyphs out of the book and throws them. She'll probably be like pulling bits of celestial nonsense out of the pot and throwing them at people. It would always float alongside her, which allowed her to really emphasize her orderly and regal personality through her animations. But now, the bit we all came for, at least the bit I came for, the gameplay. We're going to get a little bit of gameplay information on how Nut is going to work. Nut is a hunter intended to be played as a carry in the duo lane, but is able to flex amongst a variety of build styles due to the spread of damage in her kit. Her abilities are best utilized alongside her allies, so maybe a little bit of supportive aspects going on there, especially surrounding objectives and full team fights. Her duty is to protect others, and she will do so wholeheartedly, meaning that positioning carefully with her will be essential to maximize her strengths. As the goddess of the sky, Nut will be able to soar into the air and impact the battle from above, though not without careful planning and forethought. The sky will darken to a starry night, meaning her enemies will have a clear telegraph of the destruction to come. So, unique gameplay features. An ability that enhances her basic attacks to form a unique shape with a special combination of damage types depending on how accurately it is hit. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe it can do physical damage, magical damage, or true damage, or a combination of those depending on like which part of the targeter you hit or something like that. A low cooldown movement ability that is designed for juking rather than escaping. That I like. That I like a lot. It could be annoying to play against, now that I think about it, but, like, I do kind of like that idea for a hunter. Like, something that isn't actually going to get you any meaningful distance if someone's diving on you, but something that you can just... A bit like Achilles combat dodge style of thing, obviously with a lower cooldown. But yeah, something that's more so meant for, like, maneuvering around the fight, juking abilities, that rather than necessarily just running away when someone dives you, like every other movement ability is in the game. Yeah, something with, like, a 3 or 4 second cooldown, but it's just a tiny dash to, like, whatever side she's facing or something like that. I think that could make her really interesting to play. It's just a matter of how frustrating it'll be to play against if she's constantly dashing everywhere. An ability that resets the cooldown of another that when used in a skillful manner can allow Nut to quickly cycle through her abilities. So maybe this resets the cooldown of that dash. You know, maybe it's a low cooldown by default, but another one of her abilities immediately resets it so she can juke again or something like that. And finally, a semi-global ability that provides a significant opportunity for team play. This is obviously going to be her ultimate. They've mentioned it up here where like she's going to be soaring into the sky, darkening the skies and stuff. That definitely sounds like her ultimate. And yeah, a large focus on team play, it seems like, which is interesting for a hunter. You know, they're not typically the big team players. They're the ones that sit there and they hold left click and do the team's damage, take down structures, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, a hunter with more opportunities for team play, objective play, and stuff like that could be very interesting. Gods and goddesses, after the millennia of observation from afar, it is time for Nut to descend from amongst the stars and protect the world she loves. So yeah, there you go. That is the Nut closer look. Patch notes should be on Wednesday if they're on the normal time, so we'll get to see her full kit, and I'll do an ability overview and all that kind of stuff, and everything else that the patch notes are going to have. We've not had bonus balance for 10.1, so hopefully there'll be some pretty interesting balance changes in 10.2 to go over as well. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on what we've seen so far from Nut down below. Do you think she looks like she's going to be a very interesting design? Obviously, we haven't seen too much, but I think we got like a little reveal video a little while back, and then we got this information as well. And this card art up here, that's looking real good, so I'm pretty excited for this. Well, as excited as I can be for a hunter. Anyone who watches me knows that they are my least favorite class, but yeah, hopefully she's really cool, and I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.